What's going on, everybody? Thank you for coming back to another day of Transfer Tea on the channel Whiteboard Soccer. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I appreciate all of you watching the videos. And today's question of the day is going to be, which player to which team is the best transfer, in your opinion? But anyways, let's jump right in. I got a lot of transfers to get through today. First up is going to be Jordan Ayew going from Swansea City to Crystal Palace on a permanent deal. The fees reported around 10 million. I have it at about 90%. Apparently the deal is near close to happening. You know, he's a decent player. He's done all right for Crystal Palace. He's never broken into the starting lineup besides the odd game here and there. And I don't really think that this is a great signing for Crystal Palace, in my opinion. I gave it a 4 out of 10 on transfer quality just because he's getting older and he's not very good. I mean, he doesn't score a lot of goals for a striker. He's not great at dribbling. He's not very fast. He's got decent physicality and decent vision at times, but overall, I think that Ayew is an average player at best, and he probably would be better off going down to the Championship with Swansea. But it is what it is. Next up, we got Jay Rodriguez going from West Brom to Burnley. I have this as a 10 out of 10 on quality of transfer because Burnley desperately need goals. This is a confirmed deal. It's a great deal for Burnley. Rodriguez is a proven goal scorer. He's done it in the Prem. He's done it in the Championship. And we all know what he's capable of. He's now 2 years removed of his injury, and I think he's only going to keep getting better. I mean, he's getting up there in age, but I think that he's going to bring some much-needed goals to Burnley's starting 11. So good job, Burnley, on bringing in a decent striker. Next up, we got Moise Kean going from Juventus to Everton. I don't see this happening. In my opinion, I give it a 10% likelihood, because why would Juventus want to sell one of their best young players to a Premier League team? It just doesn't make sense. For a fee of 37 mil, I mean, you got players going for 50 mil that are average at best. I mean, so I think that that's a low fee. I think that Everton will have to fork out even more than that if they're going to get him. It's reported that Juventus would put a back clause in any deal that is done. But if Everton can't pull this off, I give the quality of transfer a 10 out of 10 because Keane is a great young player. He scores goals, he's strong, he's fast, he's powerful, he can dribble, he can shoot, he can pass. This guy's got it all, and he's only 19. So if Everton can get this guy in, I could see him being like Lukaku 2.0. So overall, if Everton can pull it off, good transfer for them. Bad transfer for Juventus, though. Next up, we have Eric Lamina going from Southampton to Manchester United. Right now, I have it at 30%, although it is looking very likely that Lamina will undoubtedly leave Southampton this summer. He's requested a transfer, and the team have left him out of their preseason tour. So it's really just a matter of which team wants to buy him. And I think if Man United could sign this guy for 17 mil, this would be a fantastic signing for them. I mean, he's still relatively young. He's 25. He would fit perfectly behind Pogba. I mean, he's got all the attributes that you need to put behind Pogba. I think he's kind of like a Wilfred Ndidi type with a little bit more offensive-minded in his head, I think. But I think that playing him alongside like a Matic or, a McTominay or something along the lines that's more defensive-minded, I think this guy's kind of one of those box-to-box players who's going to give you offense, he's going to give you defense. And for 17 mil, you can't beat that price. So if United can get this done, great deal for them. Next up, we have Mbiza going from Montpellier to Huddersfield Town. If this deal is confirmed, and this is a great deal for Huddersfield. I mean, they're going back down to the Championship, but this guy showed some flashes of what he can do in the Premier League last season. He couldn't really finish to save his life last season, but I think it was just that the pace of the league just caught him off guard. He is relatively strong, he's quick, and he does have a decent shot when he gets it off. And he kind of showed it more towards the end of the season when he started getting adjusted to the pace and power of the Premier League a little bit more. But I mean, he's only 23, and for 6 mil, I mean, you can't beat that price for Huddersfield, who are gonna desperately need a striker that is gonna finish a lot of chances for them in the Championship. And if anything, I think the Championship's a good move for Mbiza, because he's just gonna keep developing. He's gonna build more confidence, and I could see him easily winning Golden Boot in the Championship next season if Huddersfield can keep hold of most of their players. So overall, I gave this a quality of transfer 10 out of 10 because good price, quality striker for the price. Next up, we got Stefan going from Manchester City on loan to Fortuna Dusseldorf. This is a great signing on both parties, I think, because at Manchester City, he really doesn't have a shot of getting into the team. He's not going to take Ederson out of the lineup. And I think that Stefan has shown a lot of potential. I think that he can be a very solid goalkeeper in the future. He's 24, so he's getting up there for when he's going to have to start breaking through to a top team. But going to the Bundesliga is just going to help him. I mean, I think that you've seen a lot of goalkeepers come out of that league that have just benefited from playing in it. If he can get more minutes in a top European league, then that's just going to benefit him and Manchester City. So good loan move. Next up, we got João Mario going from Inter to Monaco. He's 26, and he's kind of been like a player that showed promise at the Euro. Everyone wanted him. He made a big money move. He failed. He made another one. He failed again. And now he's back at Inter, and Inter no longer want him. So this is one of those guys kind of similar to Renato Sanchez, who had a great Euro, and everyone wanted him. And now they've just kind of, if anything, that has not helped them because now they've been looked at as promising players and just haven't performed on the biggest stages. I think Monaco spending 28 million on this guy would be a mistake. I mean, Monaco's known for making young players into $100 million players. So if you bring in a player like João Mario, who's already 26 and doesn't have really a ton of upside from here, I mean, he's kind of like reached his potential in my opinion. Anyways, if Mario does make the transfer, then I gave it a 5 out of 10 because I think there's better options for the money for Monaco. Next up, we got James being linked back to Napoli, only this time it's looking a little more promising. Apparently, Napoli are now in advanced talks with him. I think that it says they've taken a step forward into the signing of him, and they really want him, and it's been reported in Italy, so I think that there's a good chance that this rumor is pretty strong. I think this is a 10 out of 10 in terms of quality of transfer for Napoli because he's a marquee signing, and really if they're going to compete with Juventus, that's what they need to bring in. So they already brought in Manolas, who's a great center back to replace Raul Albiol. And if they can bring in James Rodriguez and maybe even Icardi, then I could see them being title contenders next season and very dangerous in the Champions League as well. James has played at the top level for his entire career since he made that breakout World Cup performance. And he's going to be a great player for Napoli if they can bring him in. Especially at 47 mil. I mean, that's a bargain deal for a player who's as good as James is and can have games as good as James has. So overall, great signing if Napoli can pull it off. Next up, we have Fabian Delph being linked from Manchester City to Everton. I give this a 2 out of 10 in terms of quality of transfer because I don't think that Everton should waste their money on a nearly 30-year-old average midfielder. It's not what they need. If anything, they should just continue to develop Tom Davies. I mean, they already have a left back. They don't need him at that position. I mean, he is versatile and he's decent when he's at his best, but I think that this would be a complete waste of money for Everton, especially for an aging player. I don't think that he would bring anything to the table for them. He's not really a leader. I mean, he was captain of Aston Villa, but, I mean, they relegated, so I don't know. I think that him going to Everton would be a mistake on Everton's part, but if he can go get some more playing time over there and he can prove me wrong, then props to him because I just don't see this being a good signing for Everton. But it is looking more and more likely that he is going to leave. The question is, where is he going to end up? Next up, we have Buanga going from Nims to Saint Etienne. I give this a 6 out of 10 because I really don't know this player a ton. I mean, he's got decent stats, and I think he did all right in the French league. But, for 5 mil, it's got to at least be a 66 out of 10 on transfer quality because that's very cheap for a still relatively young left mid who's got experience. He's got good skill moves, good weak foot, and I could see this being a good signing for Saint Etienne, especially given that they're kind of a team that likes to bring in these no-name players and then turn them into something. So who knows? Maybe he'll be at PSG in a couple years. And next up, we have a big one here. We have Gareth Bale going from Real Madrid to an unnamed Chinese team. Apparently, some team in China has offered Gareth Bale 1.2 million pounds a week. Let me say that again for you. 1.2 million pounds per week. I mean, what the are they thinking? This is I gave this a 4 out of 10 because, he is Gareth Bale and he would dominate the Chinese league. So if they could get him in, I think that whatever team signs him could have a good chance at winning the Chinese league title or whatever. But to pay a player 1.2 million pounds a week, is just insane. Just spread that money out and bring in some other El Shaarawis of the world. To pay this guy that much is absolutely insane. Real Madrid don't want him, and no teams in Europe want him. So maybe it's a good option for Bale at this point to just go cash in. And he's almost 30, and it seems as though his best days are behind him at this point. He's picking up injuries left and right. So for China, I think that, he's a marquee signing. He's a big name, and he's still somewhat in his prime. But to pay him that much money is insane. And if this deal does go through, that would be absolutely crazy because that is a ridiculous amount of money to give a player who's not even won the Ballon d'Or before. So overall, 4 to 10 on transfer quality. Just too much money for a player who's falling out of his prime. And next up, we have Vertut going from Fiorentina to Roma for 28 million. I gave it a 60% chance of happening. This guy is looking likely to leave Fiorentina for the right price, and apparently Roma are closer to the price because he's also being linked with AC Milan. It's looking likely that he's going to leave. I think that if he goes to Roma, I give it a 5 out of 10 in terms of transfer quality because I don't really feel that Roma needs any more center mids at this point in time, especially players who are just kind of good at everything but not great at anything. They have a lot of young players that they can develop there. And if anything, I think he would be better off going to AC Milan because it seems like they're kind of shoving a lot of players out the door. So maybe he could go in there and improve their squad a little bit more. But overall, I think that him leaving Fiorentina would be a mistake in his own career because I don't think he's going to get as much playing time at Roma or Milan. So overall, 5 out of 10. He's a good player, but it's not really a move that I think that either team should make, especially given he's 26. He's in his prime, so he's not going to get much better than he is right now. So overall, average transfer at best. And lastly, we have Victor Lindelof being linked from Manchester United to Barcelona. Apparently, his agent came out and said, there's a big European club that wants him, and everyone knows that Barcelona has been linked with him. He would cost at least 40 mil. I give it a 10% chance of happening because why would Manchester United want to sell their best defender from last season? They're trying to bring center backs in, not let them go. The only way I could see this deal happening is if they give up, Umtiti or Langlet. I would think they wouldn't want to trade Lindelof for Langlet, who's much more average than Lindelof. But if they could bring in Umtiti, then that's a fairly reasonable trade. I don't think that it'll happen. I give it an 8 out of 10 for Barca because he really is somewhat their style of player. He's great on the ball, good passing, good pace, good defending, good physical. He's got everything that a Barcelona center back would need. But I also don't think that this is a good signing or a good transfer for Manchester United. I think that they'd be losing a great talent. He's only 24, so he's just going to keep going up from here. And with the breakout season he had last season, I could see him becoming one of the best center backs in the Premier League next season and really showing why Manchester United made that big money move from Benfica for him all those years ago. But overall, those are our transfers for today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think is the best transfer down in the comments below. Who would be a good move? Who would be a bad move? Let me know if you think the Chinese league should pay BALE £1.2 million a week to bring him in. What do you guys think about that? But anyways, thanks for watching. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you so much, and we will see you again soon.